is the newbie tag? Who's gonna want to watch me? Hi friends! So for the first time ever, I'm going to say, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer, or Jen, and I am starting a YouTube channel to talk about books. I thought what better way to start than to do the newbie tag, and you know, that'll help me to give you a little bit of insight into what this channel will be about. So without further ado, let's get started. If you see me looking over to my left, your right, I'm checking out my computer for the questions. Alright, so question number 1. Why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because I love books. I devour books. I go through spurts in my life where that's all I want to do is read. Pretty simply, I started this channel because I'm a book nerd and I want to find like-minded book nerds like me who want to talk about books, who want to just devour the book world with me. That's it. I mean, I've gone through spurts in my life where like I've been an avid reader, and then I've gone through spurts where I just want to read but nothing sounds interesting. And throughout those times, I've always turned to BookTube to help me figure out what's my next venture going to be. Simply, that's it. I need to talk about books, and I just wanted to find like-minded people. You know, my husband doesn't really read, and quite frankly, I'm sure he is tired of hearing me talk about the type of books that I read and what I read, because he just doesn't get it. And I thought, you know, me reaching out to this community is a really good way for me to find, you know, people who read the same type of things that I do. That was not a short answer, was it? Moving on. Question number 2. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? Listen, I've been watching BookTube for, I don't know, 8+ years now. And I have read so many different genres in my life. You know, throughout the stages of my life, I'll like be, you know, into one particular genre, which I really find helps me, because if I find that I'm getting bored with the genre, I just pick up a different one, right? Truly, I think every single booktuber that I have followed or continue to follow, they always bring something unique to the table because they are unique. Even if a few different ones talk about the same book, they each have a different perspective. You know, there's still a little bit of a twist there that maybe another one didn't see, or another, you know, what somebody else brings to the table. So that's what I'm hoping to bring, is just a little bit of me. So, I mean, like, I hope that that's not super cliche, but, like, it is what it is. Like, I just truly think that just me being me and bringing myself to the table is going to be unique to BookTube. Primarily, I like one genre, but that is not all that I read, right? Like, that is my favorite, and that is the one that I will gravitate to. But if I'm in a book slump, there are other, like, there is a typical genre that I go to because it's very quick and easy for me to get out of that book slump. So basically, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we're going to move on. Question number 3. What are you most excited for with this new channel? Meeting new people. Meeting the booktubers that I've enjoyed watching and who have inspired me. Inspiring other people. Building a community of, you know, building this community right here. This is my first step at building the community that I've always envisioned. Getting to talk about the authors that I absolutely love. Those are my ride or dies. And yes, I add to those, but I have my ride or dies. Adding new authors to my ride or dies. Finding new authors and books, basically, you know. Question number 4. Why do you love reading? I mean, that is such a loaded question for me. Ask me on any given day, and you're probably going to get a different answer on those days, right? I love reading because I love reading. It is a magical thing what reading does to you. it's been my hobby. Like, people are always like, what's your hobby? You know, in school, whenever you would have to be like, tell me 3 things about yourself. I'm like, I know one. I like to read. That might be boring to some people, but is the furthest thing from boring to me. It is everything. I love immersing myself in a book and getting lost for hours. I look up and I'm like, where did the time go? But I'm getting lost in the characters and the plot, in the scenes. I mean, it is literally, it's a movie in my head. So, I mean, the easiest answer that I can give is just reading is my happy place. It makes me happy. Question number 5. What book or series got you into reading? Again, this is a little bit of a hard one because, bear with me, throughout the stages of my life, I've been into different genres. So it's really hard for me to say that because, I mean, I can say, you know, when I was in middle school, it was The Babysitter's Club and Cam Jansen. When I started watching BookTube, all the craze was YA. Now, was I a little bit old for YA? Yes. Did I delve into it? Abso-fucking-lutely I did. I sure did. And I loved it. And quite frankly, that's what got me back into reading hardcore. So I'm going to go with that because I did take a little bit of time off. I would like read here and there. So that being said, what was the book or series that got me into it, really into reading and turning some books out, and got me to where I am basically today, would have to be The Vampire Academy and the subsequent books that came after it. So it was like The Vampire Academy and then Bloodlines was after it. I think there's like 12 books in that series, and that really got me into YA. And then, you know, I mean, that was more of like, you know, vampires and everything, obviously, but then I got into more of like contemporary YA, and of course then you go into like new adult, but that's just romance. I mean, that's what got me really into the position that I am today, where it was my love for books just grew from there, and then it kind of snowballed into what more can I read, and then I kind of got, you know, a little tired. I don't want to say tired. That's the wrong word. I didn't get tired of YA because I still have a lot of YA books that I still need to read, but I was not connecting as much as I was before with them. Because it's YA, which means young adult. I'm not a young adult. So I was looking for something more around my speed, which is where I've come to today. And we will talk more about that. Question number 6. What would you ask your favorite booktubers? God, there's so many questions. Do you ever feel unmotivated to read, and what do you do to get yourself out of that? How do you not feel pressure to read all of the new releases? I get so overwhelmed just watching them because they're like, this new release came out, and I've got it, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, how do you do that? I have such a backlist of books. I've found so many authors I'm obsessed with, and I have to read all of their books, and then I'm like, but I'm not giving the other people the love. Like, what do? I can't read fast enough, but I also don't want to read so fast that I forget what I've read. So how do you deal with that? As far as BookTube is concerned, how do you find the time? How do you stay focused? How do you come up with the content? And then probably the most important is, can we just skip to the good part and be friends already? Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? This right here, being in front of the camera. I am not used to it. I do not like it, and it is really, really overwhelming and giving me some anxiety right now. But wanting to start and create a community is so much more of a motivator for me that I'm willing to overcome this. I know that there is going to be numerous challenges along the way, but for right now, in this moment, the biggest challenges that I have are internal. But I also know that BookTube's community is absolutely amazing. So I have a little bit of comfort knowing that I'm going to meet some amazing people and hopefully create this community that I'm striving for. Question number 8. When did you start reading? Honestly, I don't remember not reading. Like I said in some of my prior answers, there has been times in my life where I have not been reading, but I just always remember reading. I mean, my mom read to me a lot when I was growing up, and then, you know, I always saw her with a book. I always saw my Nana with a book. I just always saw people with books, so that was like normal to me. Always had a book in my hand, whether it was, like I said, Cam Johnson or Nancy Drew books or The Babysitter's Club or Ramona. Question number 9. Where do you read? Again, where do I not read? At the moment, wherever. I read at my desk. I read in bed. I read on the couch. Wherever. Question number 10. Now we're getting juicy. What books do you like to read? Okay. I kind of touched on this already, but I really do dabble in everything. I'm starting to veer in a little bit into middle grade because my daughter is 4 and she is just like me, loves to read. And I definitely want to build her up a library so when, you know, she does get a little bit older, we can read those books together. However, my genre of choice at the moment is romance. Specifically, dark romance. The smuttier, the better. And I'm loving it. Because listen, here's the thing about me. For so long, I veered away from romance. I don't know why. I think in my head that I looked at romance as like mass market paperback romances with like Fabio on the cover and his hair blowing in the wind. That's what I thought. Wrong. Like, have I read romance with past? Yes, I did. But it wasn't my go-to. I think at some point I started gradually moving in that direction. And it took a turn into the dark and stormy. And I'm telling you, I have never been happier with the books that I'm reading. I never realized the amazing plots. It's not just smut. I love romance, right? Like, it's not just for the smut. Is that a bonus? Abso-fucking-lutely it is. But it's more of, these stories are amazing. They're amazing. They're the best books that I've read. So, that's what I'm into now. And I hope that you stick around so that we can totally dive in to these books. Let's read, let's rave. Oh my god, I cannot believe it, but we are actually to our last question. Can you believe it? Let's get it. Question 11. What does your book collection look like? A lot of YA. It is a lot of YA. I started really collecting books when I was in the YA phase. And so, as you can see behind me, it is primarily YA. And books, I mean, like, I don't have to tell you, books are expensive. They are extremely expensive. Mama can't always just drop some dough on some books. Although I would love to, and I've got quite the list. I will get there. That being said, I am starting to collect my favorites. That being said, I have a ton of books that I really need to unload. I need to get rid of, unhaul. So, maybe another video? Who knows? Well, that's it. I've answered all the questions, which means I have officially finished my first YouTube video. Applause. If you've stuck around this far, maybe you're willing to stick around a little bit longer. Maybe hit subscribe, hang out with me, let's get to know each other, let's chat, let's really rave about some books. I can't wait to see what this channel will bring, what we'll do, some fun things together. I have a lot of fun ideas already. Can't wait to get started. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope that you subscribe. Leave me a comment below. Let's get to know each other. Let's start a combo. So, until next time. Bye, guys.